If right now you're not living the life that you want to live, I want you to give me the next 10 minutes because in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 massive ideas that helped me make huge amounts of progress in my own life over the last 8 years and should, by the end of this video, help you make massive amounts of progress in your own life. But before I do that, if you're sitting there wondering why should you listen to me? Well, at 18 years old, I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do with my life. And that's not me being hyperbolic or exaggerating the situation. Genuinely, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. I remember careers days at school in my kind of second to last year of high school and sitting with this dread of anxiety because everyone else was kind of, I want to be an accountant or I want to be a lawyer or a doctor or all of these different things. And I genuinely had not only no idea, but no interest in anything that was put in front of me. And regardless of the fact that I didn't have any idea, my lack of interest meant that I had terrible grades at school. And so the things that I did want to get into, things like sports science, nutrition, all the kind of things within the health and fitness industry, I didn't have the grades to get into. And so rather than going to university and getting there slowly, I just didn't go to university at all, which in hindsight, of course, has turned into a good decision, but at the time made me seem like a real deadbeat. I never excelled at any particular classes at school. I never excelled at any particular sports at school. There was nothing that I showed extreme prospect in and nothing that I could kind of look at and go, I should continue doing that. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this, but with the exception of what I'm doing now, I have never had anyone in my life tell me, you're good at this, Tom, you should keep doing it. And so I had no idea what I was doing. And for those of you wondering, my dad went bankrupt when I was 15. And so I didn't have rich parents or some safety net to fall back on. This was all my responsibility at 18 years old. In fact, my mum and I had this conversation with her just yesterday. I had a long phone call with my mum yesterday, and she opened up to the fact that my uncle, her brother, or one of her brothers, just recently found out what I was doing for work and the business I built and the life I've built. And he opened up to her and said, Tom was supposed to be the deadbeat. That was his impression of me when I was 16, 17, 18 years old. But despite that, now, 10 years later, at 28 years old, I have an online business that just hit its second 7-figure year in business. I just had my meeting with my accountant this week that telling me we just hit our second 7-figure year in business. We actually hit $1 million in profit this year, which is very exciting. And I have a liquid net worth of more than 7 figures. And so I've achieved a lot in a period of 10 years since 18 years old, since going from no real prospects, no idea what the fuck I was going to do with my life, all the way till now where I have a very successful business, a lifestyle I love. I get to wear nice watches, fly a business class whenever I go traveling, go to nice places a couple times a year and live a life that I'm really genuinely stoked with. And just to sort of give you guys an idea that it's not just business gains, there's life gains too. I race a 9:35 Ironman and I run a 2:59 marathon. This is me here with more blonde hair. My promise to you is that if you give me your attention for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to share 3 massive mindset and perspective shifts that will help you make tremendous progress in your life. If you're willing to give me that time, if you're willing to give me 10 minutes, then I'm going to help you transform your life. Lesson number 1, and probably the most important on this list, is that passion and purpose is a lie. See, you have to stop romanticizing this idea of passion and purpose. I think it's the number one thing that holds people back from making progress in their life because they're chasing after this idea of what passion and purpose seems like for them. You see these movies and these books and these ideas that represent passion and purpose and alignment and mission in a way that seems romantic. It makes it seem like it's going to be this moment, this, instantaneous passion, this instantaneous love for what you do. And that's just not reality. The reality is that passion comes from progression. And so you want to focus instead on progression. For me in my own career, passion has always looked like this. If you have your x-axis over here and you have your y-axis over here and your x-axis is time and your y-axis is progress, I have always found that there is a dotted line up through the middle here that looks like this. And this is your passion line. And for me, over time, as I've started a new thing, whether it be getting into running, getting into triathlon, building my business, building my personal brand, creating content online, doing anything in life, it always starts down here. And then over time, you chart upwards, up and to the right, and then boom, you find yourself somewhere around here with what I call the passion intersection. You get good enough at what you're doing to the point where you start to become passionate about that thing. See, we are passionate about the things that we're good at. That's why as kids, you become passionate about particular sports because maybe you're bigger than the other kids, or you have a particular skill set, or maybe you have more hand-eye coordination, and suddenly you're super passionate about the sport. But you weren't born passionate. You became passionate because you were good at that thing. It's the same as kids that are good at math, same as kids that are good at public speaking. People are good at making content. They become passionate over time. And so I've found that passion and purpose is a lie. If you try to chase that in a romantic way, you're going to be disappointed because you're never going to find that passion. Instead, if you focus on progression, if you focus on getting good at something, if you focus on putting in the reps and putting in the time over enough time, you will find that intersection where passion starts to happen. Lesson number 2 is it's going to take more effort than you think it will, more sacrifice than you think it will, and it will take way longer than you think it will. You can have quite literally anything that you want with this life, but you also have to understand that it's going to take way longer, it's going to be way harder, and it's going to require way more sacrifice than you think it will. If you want to drive a particular car, you can have that, but it's going to take you longer to get there. It's going to take you more sacrifice to get there, and it's going to take you more effort to get there. If you want a big business, if you want an amazing body, if you want anything that you want in life, you can have it, but it's going to take you longer to get there than you think it will. Far more effort and far more sacrifice. See, for most people, they think a year of effort towards something is long enough to yield the kind of results that they want. But in reality, it's 10 years or 20 years that are going to yield results that you can't even possibly imagine right now. See, I remember thinking after 3 years into business or 4 years into business or 5 years into business when I was 23, 24, 25 years old, I remember thinking, why haven't I achieved what I wanted yet? When in reality, all I needed to do was wait another 2 years, wait another 3 years, wait another 4 years, and I would have exactly what I have today. And the results I have today are results I couldn't have dreamt of having when I first started. And so most people fail not because they're incapable, but because it's more difficult, requires more sacrifice, and took way longer than their expectations. And so if you stretch those expectations out a little bit, if you give yourself the grace to know this is going to take a long bloody time for me to achieve what I want to achieve, then you're going in with the right expectations. You're going in with a real sense of what reality is going to be, and that sets you up to succeed. Because you're not going to be looking around 12 months in wondering why you don't have six-pack abs or you don't have $1 million in your bank account yet. It's because you haven't been doing it long enough. And so trying to remember this will give you the confidence to go, I am doing all the right things. I'm making progress. I just haven't been doing this for long enough. I just haven't sacrificed enough. Just haven't put in enough effort yet. And if you keep doing that over a long enough period of time, you will succeed. It just usually takes a bit longer than you think it will. And in the very same vein, or the very same kind of point with this, you need to stop comparing yourself to people online who represent this in a false way. Because there is going to be outliers. There are going to be people who start a business and they have a particular set of skill sets or a particular set of interests or passions that make them mega aligned with this particular thing, and it blows up straight away, overnight. 6 months in, they've got $1 million business. They're doing amazingly well. They exit 2 years later. They're worth $100 million and boom, they're a huge outlier in terms of business. But banking your reality or trying to align your reality with that is a complete waste of time, because for most people, it's not going to look anything like that. And so if you're worried about your reality versus a reality of a complete outlier or someone who may be lying online for attention, which happens a lot, you're going to be disappointed. And then if you're disappointed, you're going to think you're a failure when in reality, you just haven't been doing it long enough. And the final lesson on this list is overthinking leads to inaction. We don't act, and so then we think. And then the thinking makes us feel worse, and so we don't act. And then that inaction makes us feel even worse, so we think some more. The key is you need to break this cycle. Prioritize action no matter how messy it is. One of the best things you can do if you want to achieve outlier results in your life is to prioritize action at the expense of literally everything else. Literally everything else. For me this morning, it's 9:50 a.m. on Friday. I have to have a video out on Fridays. I sent my video to my editor too late last night, and so we can't get it done today. And I have to be in Melbourne at 2:30 today, so I have to finish my workday at 1. And so I know that I'm gonna have to record this video, I'm gonna have to upload the video, edit the video, and upload the video all myself before 1 o'clock before I then have to finish the workday. And so I know with the limited time and resources that I have, I have to do something that is imperfect. In an alternate reality, I could have said to myself, you know what, I don't have enough time, it's fine, we're gonna skip this week. But taking action in this situation is always better and will always yield better results than no action at all. And so if you can become one of these kind of people, these delusional operators, as I described them, then you're always going to achieve more success, not because you're better, not because you're smarter or more intelligent or you have a better series of unfair advantages, but because you take more action than those people. Because in reality, it's always these delusional operators who achieve the most success, but not because they're better than you or smarter than you or have a better purpose or more passion than you do, but because they act first and think later. And so over a long enough period of time, they take way more action than you do. Progress happens in between action. See, most people think that progress happens during action. They think that by preparing for the thing and ideating on the thing and thinking about the thing, that they'll make more progress during. But the reality is that progress happens between finishing something and starting the next. And so if you can be one of these delusional operators who takes more action, finishes more projects, you'll make more progress because you have more of those in-between moments where you've finished one thing and you're moving on to the next. You absorb everything that you learnt in that action taking, and then you take that into the next thing. A perfect example is making videos like this. You don't get better by spending more time on one video. You get better by spending more time on hundreds of videos, because each incremental video is a feedback loop that teaches you something that you can take into the next. Everything that I'm doing right now, everything that contributed to this video that I'm having to make in a very short period of time was built because I've made a lot of videos. If you want to make enormous progress in your life, it's not going to come from preparing. It's not going to come from knowing more about the thing or being more knowledgeable, even though reading, yes, researching, yes, getting inspired by other people, listening to other stories, those things are all valuable inputs. But at the end of the day, if you take no action, you make no progress. And so become a delusional operator, someone who acts first and thinks later and doesn't mind if the action is messy and fucked up and doesn't actually move the needle. Who cares? Take enormous action and you'll get there eventually. If you found this video valuable, there is a link in the top line of the description that'll take you to 33 ways in 33 days to make more money with your personal brand. This is a free 33-day email sequence that'll teach you to make more money online with your personal brand. How to create digital products, how to sell your digital products, how to create landing pages, basically everything you need to get started making money online. It's for free, delivered to you daily via 90-second, easily consumable reads that'll help you make more money this month. If you want that for free, all you need to do is click that top line, give me your best email address, and I'll send you the first lesson in the next 5 minutes. I hope this video helps, and I'll see you in the next one.